389 Gaming.
Hey guys, it's Gareth389 here, and I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I want to look at a little news article that popped up recently about the Xbox One. Now, I'll start off by, giving a little bit of my thoughts on the Xbox One as I had, gotten the information from the early reveal. First off, it's ugly. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have come into agreement with that. It's fairly ugly. That's not really an issue, but it is kind of, it kind of reminds me of a half slab from Minecraft, and I don't use half slabs that often. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm just kidding with you guys, but I don't particularly like the way it looks. It's a little bit too blocky for me. I was hoping for, something that looks really techy and really, sorry, throat's a little weird today. And yeah, I was just hoping for something a little bit more techy, something a little bit more fancy. And from the information I got from the reveal, I'm not surprised by what I read in this article, but what I read in this article more or less confirms my disappointment. Because I was actually thinking, maybe I should switch over to Xbox, because in the current generation that we're still in, because we haven't gotten to the next one yet. The current generation that we were still in, the Xbox really was pretty good. The internet services that it provided were superior to that of the PlayStation. It got exclusives early. It had decent exclusives. It had Xbox put a lot of money into making it a gaming console, and it felt like a gaming console and looked like a gaming console. The PlayStation, that was the entertainment center, and I did have a PlayStation of my own, and I'm borrowing my brother's right now because mine is broken. He doesn't have need of his, so that's how that worked out. My PlayStation eventually broke, but the Xbox 360 did break more often than the PlayStation, though I never had one myself. So yeah, those are my feelings going into this. Is I had this hopeful optimism that maybe the Xbox, the next generation Xbox, would still be a really good gaming console, and I could pick it up, and I could see things from that side as well. But where I stand right now is I don't think I'm getting an Xbox this generation. That's the ending. That's the disclaimer. That's what I'm looking for. The disclaimer. That word. So I've just read through this article. I took some notes. You can't see them because they're on my other screen, and if I touch that screen, I will ruin the entire recording. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to touch that screen at all. So the always online part. This is DRM protection. They're doing everything they can to say it is not DRM protection. This is DRM protection. That is exactly what a DRM protection looks like. They are forcing you to connect every 24 hours with the primary console to make sure that you are not, using your game on multiple Xboxes. That's the bottom line of it. You are not sharing your games in a manner that they do not approve of. That is DRM protection. You cannot copy games. You cannot, buy a game for yourself and then lend it to a buddy and have them play it on their Xbox. You have to be online to register the game when you install it. And then you have to be online once every 24 hours with your main console to make sure that if anyone else has been playing with your game, that it's removed from your library. That's basically what it does. Is it prevents you from playing. Well, it doesn't remove it from your library. You can keep it, It's just that you can't have multiple people on it at the same time. So say, for instance, you buy the game and you put your console on offline mode. So all of your friends and family can still play on the console offline, can still play all of the games offline, and then you can go over to your friend and you can play from, you can play online basically with the same game. So you two can be playing the same game, but you can't be online at the same time. If you log in with the main console, now they haven't specified this, but I'm pretty sure if you log on with your main console, say for instance you're playing Call of Duty and you want to play Call of Duty at your friend's house, but your brother is at home playing Call of Duty, he wants to play online, it's not going to let you. You're not going to be able to do that. So that's basically what it does, is it prevents you from doing that. So you can play on a friend's console, a friend's home console, but you can't play, you can't log into your own account, so to speak. Persistent universes. Microsoft added, because every Xbox One owner has a broadband connection. Not entirely true, Xbox. Developers can create massive, persistent worlds that evolve when you're not playing. That is BS, because it could do that anyways. You do not have to connect to the internet for World of Warcraft to continue working when you're not there. Granted, you do have to log in every now and then on World of Warcraft, or at least you had to in the past. You had to log on like every now and then so that your account wouldn't get deleted. But if you went away on vacation, the persistent universe, that continued while you weren't there. It really only matters, if the developers actually create a persistent world that evolves. It really doesn't matter if you connect every 24 hours. That's just BS. That's blatant BS. That is saying, no, this isn't DRM. We're just making things, we're making things right. We're setting it up so that people can have these persistent online experiences. No, you're not. You're making DRM. Don't treat us like children. Now, granted, a considerable number of the people who play Xbox are children. But don't treat us like children. The adults among us, we can read through this. We can read between the lines. We can see, you're trying to shaft the, what's it called again? The used games market, and you're trying to prevent hacking. You're trying to prevent, what's it called? Piracy. You're trying to prevent piracy. That's good. That's all right. You can say that this is an anti-piracy, thing. If you came out with that right away, instead of trying to bury it under all of this BS, it wouldn't be so much of an issue. But, the fact that they're trying to sneak this in past us, trying to trick us, that's what's bothering me. Is, that they're not being forthcoming about this. Now they talk about, used games and giving games to friends, stuff like that. They can, they are giving the publishers the ability to enable giving games to your friends. You are allowed to give games to your friends only if the publisher allows you to give that game. So I'm guessing there will be certain games that, you can't give. Probably, those cash-in games, the ones that are terrible. So it's like, you can't go, oh, hey, buddy, don't buy this game. If you want to try it out, I'll just give it to you. It's terrible. I don't want to play it anymore. Here you go. That's not what they're going to let you do. They're going to disable it for games like that. Trust me. It's going to be like for games like Call of Duty, where you can like give it to someone and then, you can buy it again because you like it. Stuff like that. But yeah, the whole giving games to your friends thing smells very fishy too, because you have to be friends with them for at least 30 days. You can only give one game once, so I think that means that if you give them a game, they can't pass it on. But I also think, like the main thing is that you can't give it to more than one person. You can't, take the game and give it to 5 different people, because, that would be multiplying it. you would be multiplying the copies. So it's understandable they don't want that going on, but, you know, friends for at least 30 days. So we're going to have to wait until a month into the console's life cycle before we can start trading games or giving games to our friends. So yeah, we designed Xbox One so game publishers can enable you to trade in your games at participating retailers. Microsoft does not charge a platform fee to retailers. Publishers or consumers enable transferring of these games. So basically that's, you know, their answer to whether or not you can trade in your games. Yes, but they're doing it through the publishers. So I'm going to give you a moment to let that sink in. They're giving this, they are allowing publishers to enable and disable. Apparently someone's going to do some construction work. Amazing. Anyways, they're going to enable, they're going to have publishers allow trading of games. So what are the publishers going to do? Yeah, they're going to charge you for it. Or they're just going to block you from doing it at all. You know, they might as well just say, oh, well, you know, this game, it isn't very good, so we don't want them trading it in at retailers. We want everyone to buy this new so that we make as much money off of it as possible. So we're just going to block it. So once again, you know, with these cash-in games that, you know, they don't want people to know too much about, they'll, you know, they'll shaft you. So my major problem with this is that, you know, they say they're not going to charge retailers or publishers or consumers for enabling the transfer of these games, like it says right there in the middle here. I don't know if you can even read this, but, you know, if you can. But, you know, they don't say anything about the publishers. The publishers can still do it. The publishers can still say, well, you know, we'll put a fee on it, so, you know, when you install the game, you have to pay a fee. And, you know, I'm pretty sure Xbox still has the last word on it, so if they don't want you to do this, if they don't want it, then they can block it. And more importantly, participating retailers. That's going to be really annoying, because it means that certain retailers can get, like, monopolies on certain games. Like, for instance, you know, Call of Duty might get, or Activision might get like a deal with GameSpot, for instance, that you can only trade in Xbox, or sorry, not Xbox, but Call of Duty at GameSpot, or something like that, or GameStop, sorry. So, you know, they could force you to do that. Or they could say, you know, you can only trade it in at, you know, EB Games or whatever. Things like that. And that adds like an extra layer of capitalism to the whole thing that I just don't like. I really don't like it. And I'm not one of those anti-capitalists that's like, oh, capitalism is the worst thing ever, and I disagree with everything about it. No, I don't. It's just, you know, certain things, like this over-capitalism, I guess is the right term of it. You know, where like everything is monetized, everything is, you know, capitalist, everything is an economy in itself. That kind of bothers me quite a bit. So yeah, moving on to this whole, you can set up your own little family and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they don't require you to actually be like related, so you can have like friends that are part of your family group. And you can all access the shared library, is what it says here. Where is it? Maybe it's further down? Yeah, there it is. Xbox One will allow you to give up to 10 family members access to log in and play from your shared games library on the Xbox One. Similar to the Xbox 360, a family member can play your copy of Forza Motorsport at a friend's house, only now they will not just see Forza, but all your shared games. That's nice and all, except for this last line here. You can always play your games, and any one of your family members, can be playing from your shared library at a given time. Now, I think this is wording BS. I think that this is wording themselves around the actual issue here. I don't think it's coincidental the way they said this. Any one of your family members. One. That means, say you have a full 10 family members who can share from your library, and they're all out playing at their friend's house. Only one of them can actually access the shared library. And this goes under the same sort of clause as the, you have to be logged on once an hour. That's earlier in the article that you have to be. Let's see if I can even find it. Yeah, I'm not going to look for it, but basically the thing is that you have to log on once every 24 hours with your main Xbox, and you have to log in once an hour on anyone else's Xbox accessing your library. So that means that if you have several friends, then only one of them can access the shared library. Or if you have multiple members in your family member clause, then only a few of them can access the shared library at any given time, or only one of them. And it updates every hour. So say, for instance, they somehow manage to glitch it. It's only going to work for an hour before they say, oh, there's something fishy going on. There's 2 people on this, and then ban your entire account. And then I'm pretty sure if the guy at home, if his game console is set to offline mode, he can continue playing it for 24 hours. And that's why you can always play your games. So you can turn your console to offline mode and continue playing your games and enjoying yourselves. But don't be fooled. I'm pretty sure if you actually go online, then none of your friends can access the library. I'm fairly certain that what they mean here is that only one person can access the shared library at any given time. So you cannot share your library with 10 friends persistently and have all of them playing at the same time. It's going to be exclusive to the one guy that's online, and that's it. And I'm pretty sure that the home console, the main console, has priority over all the other ones. So if the home console logs on, it logs everyone else off. That's how I think that works. I'm fairly certain that they're setting this up specifically to force gamers into a situation where everyone has to have their own console, everyone has to, use their own setup to do this, so that you can't, you can't share games, you can't trade games in, you can't, swap games with your friends back and forth, just for fun. You can only swap them once. That means if you give them your game, it's permanently theirs. You can't get it back. That's what it seems like, at least. That's what I'm getting from this. So if you're one of those people that has their own console, you don't share it with your brother, you don't share it with your sister, you don't share it with your wife or your husband, you don't share it with your roommates, you don't share it with anyone. Except for like offline multiplayer or split screen multiplayer. You get the point. That's still there. They do mention that that's still there in this article. But, as long as you're not doing any of those other things, as long as, this is your console, just your console, and everyone else is just a guest on your console, then it's fine. It doesn't matter. Because, you're never going to be in that situation where you can't access your games, unless of course, you have to update your Xbox because it's been 24 hours, and Xbox's servers have crashed. If that happens, you're screwed. So say you're coming home from work, it's been 24 hours since you last were on the console because, you were at work yesterday. You come home, you want to sit down, you want to play on your Xbox, you want to just, get in some Call of Duty. Xbox's servers are down. Go F yourself. That's it. You can't play. You can't even play offline. I kid you not, you cannot play offline. I'm gonna go find that specific line. Yes. Let's see. You can play offline for up to 24 hours on your primary console, or 1 hour if you were logged on to a separate console. And at some point in this article, it says that offline play will no longer be possible after those 24 hours. I'm not going to find the specific line in it. I think it's like right here or something. Offline gaming is not possible after these prescribed times until you reestablish a connection, but you can still watch live TV and enjoy Blu-ray and DVD movies. So, that's fine. You can still use it as a non-gaming console, but you can't play video games on it. No offline. No offline for you because you're a pirate. You're obviously, cheating the system if you're playing offline. So they also talk about this whole all discs install a digital copy on the console and on the cloud. I don't care about that. It doesn't bother me at all. That's the only thing in this article that doesn't rub me the wrong way. As long as my 500 gigabytes last a little while, it doesn't matter to me. It's fine. I think digital downloads are really the future of gaming because I think discs are eventually going to fade out. Eventually, we're not going to use discs anymore, or we're going to use them, selectively, like only for some games. Like, for instance, a really, really, really big game that's really difficult to install, or something of that regard. But I think discs are going to quickly become obsolete, and digital is going to be king eventually. So when the human race is wiped out, we're not going to leave any physical evidence of of our gaming culture. So and then there's the Kinect stuff, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Kinect can go F itself. That's my opinion on it. Kinect can go fuck itself. I really do not care for Kinect. I mean, it's fun, like, for a little while, but it's fun in the sort of Nintendo Wii kind of thing, like, where, you're playing with the wand, and it's fun for a little while, but then, you get sore. That was entirely, that was entirely potty humor. So, Kinect is really just... It's just this abomination, really, on gaming. I don't see why it's such a big deal. It's like, now you have to have Kinect. Oh, great. Now you can talk to your Xbox. Oh, great. Now the Xbox can record all of your motions. Oh, great. Fine, whatever. I really, really don't care. I mean, it has no purpose for me whatsoever. And the major thing is, it comes down to how the developers use it. If they make like this really, really cool game design with it, like say an RPG where you're actually doing all of the movements on screen, and you use different movements to activate the different special abilities and stuff like that. It's really awesome. I mean, that would be nice, but there's a lot of things that the Kinect can't do, such as force feedback. Say, for instance, you're swinging a sword, and you clank your sword against another person. In real life, your hands are still moving. Your hands are going to go straight through it because there's no actual sword stopping you. So, there are limits to how realistic it can get. And I don't know, I just can't get into the whole concept of it. And when it comes to like the privacy settings, I mean, they address the privacy settings. They say that you can tell the Kinect how much it can record, and it's not being uploaded to the internet. We're not spying on you. Yeah, well, I didn't assume that Xbox is spying on us. I'm fairly certain if, that case, if they were actually spying on us and, that was found out, it would be a really, really big issue because they're not allowed to do it. It's illegal in almost every country to record a person without their knowing of it. So yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I just think this whole thing, it kind of reeks of really, really, really bad BS. I mean, I'm just not hyped for it anymore. And really, that's all I have to say to this. So I'm gonna edit this real quick and upload it, and hopefully, it'll get out before I have to go to work. Because I kind of want to get this out as quickly as possible so that you guys can be updated on it. My position on it: Xbox. No, not getting an Xbox One. Sorry, Microsoft. I have Windows on my computer, but I am not buying your console. It's painful. It really is. It's just painful. All right. Well, we'll talk soon. See you guys.